That's right. And speaking of how good some of the Canadian fighters are, as we mentioned in the opener, we're going to see some of Canada's finest young amateur fighters here, followed by the professional fighters. And I know the first amateur fighter is someone I think that you know, Custio Clayton, who's going to be tangling with Jerome Martin.
Yes, I do know Custio Clayton. You know, matter of fact, he happens to be my cousin, and I see him at the gym. He's very talented, and this is a wonderful event for him and his opponent. You know, I look forward to seeing an excellent fight tonight, and this is a good way to start it off. Two good, young, experienced little fighters.
Well, this fight is, I believe, only 1 minute rounds, I'm told. Now, I know that these guys are very, very young in age, around 11, 12 years old.
Yes, they are, and, you know, we might think that 1 minute rounds is not a long time, but I remember fighting 1 minute rounds myself, and it was like an eternity.
And there you see the weight class is 75 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure that that's 75 pounds of muscle and speed personified. As we see the first fighter, I believe that's Jerome Martin, who's just coming around the corner and will be soon entering the screen. A reminder, you're watching this exciting amateur boxing action to start off the evening live here on Eastlink Community Television.
And Bill Arsenault, he's a referee that refereed me years ago. Matter of fact, he was my first referee at my first amateur fight, and he has a lot of experience, and he was one of my favorite referees. So, you know, he is a person who really knows what he's doing in this ring tonight.
He's a man who has been all over the world refereeing amateur fights.
Yes, he has been.
Paperweight division. In the red corner, fighting out of the Colchester Amateur Boxing Club, is Jerome Martin.
So there you see a good look at Jerome Martin. He represents the Colchester Amateur Boxing Club in Truro, Nova Scotia.
Boxing Club, Custio Clayton.
And his opponent, there you see him. That's Custio Clayton, and he represents the City of the Lakes Amateur Boxing Club. And Kirk, you might know something about his coach.
Yes, his coach, matter of fact, is my brother. No, for real, he's my father. He might look, he's young looking, but he's my father, and he been my coach since I turned amateur to professional. So he is now still my advisor, and he's always a great help to my professional career and my whole life period.
Well, that's a testament to how strong your family ties are, and that's a lesson that every young person can learn out there. And we're underway here, round one. And
these two guys are very anxious to get into it.
Well, Custio with a couple of quick jabs that got through right off the bat here. He's got a nice left jab. Good one, too, by Clayton.
Yes, Custio, you know, he's come along great in the gym, and, you know, he knows all the techniques and all the things you need to know to execute his game inside the ring.
Well, he's landed 5 or 6 good, solid jabs. There's a good right hand from Clayton, as he appears to be the aggressor right off the bat.
You know, as an amateur, because they're going 1 minute rounds, they have to, you notice that they're throwing a lot of punches. Me being a heavyweight, as a professional, I couldn't go out there and throw that many punches. I'll be tired. And there's the first round.
There's a standing 8 count already with 15 seconds to go here.
Hands up.
I thought I heard the bell ring.
The bell did ring inadvertently. I think maybe the timekeeper was doing a favor there for Jerome Martin because he took a couple good shots, good solid shots.
He did take a couple good shots, but you know, the protective headgear and the big padded gloves, you know, they help these amateur boxers be a whole lot safer in the game. So really, there will not be a lot of damage done in these fights.
Well, there you see some action in the replay. Custio moving in quite nicely, setting up that right hand with the jab. He's a very polished young fighter.
Very polished, and one of the key things that he has and understands that he has to do is use the jab. And most fighters that use the jab very much are the fighters that used to be successful or come out on top most of the times.
This is a 3-round fight. There's a good look at Jerome Martin getting some words of advice from his corner man.
Matter of fact, Tex McLeod is his corner man, and we fought when we were 14 years old. We fought each other, and I won by a 4-1 majority decision, but it was one of my hardest fights.
Now, how can you remember the score way back then?
I can remember because I remember that was one of my hardest fights, one of the fights that helped me get to the next level. And Tex, he was an excellent fighter himself.
So Martin with some good advice from the corner, I'm sure. Round 2 is underway, and Clayton comes out again with that stinging left jab. another left.
He's using good power, good jab. He seems to be a little more schooled than this fighter right here. This guy has a lot of heart and a lot of courage right now.
Another solid jab. Clayton has excellent balance. He's got those legs just shoulder width apart.
Excellent.
And he comes out of that mix-up with a good right hand, follows it up with a stiff left jab. Custio Clayton in control here. Another left jab to the face of Martin.
But Martin is using pretty good defense, because if he wasn't, Custio would end up hitting him at more than he's hitting him right now.
Well, Martin wants to be careful coming in, because Custio can certainly counterpunch as well.
Yes, he can. Custio right now, he has everything right now. He has jabs, uppercut, left hooks, good movement. You know, he does almost everything right. And
there's the end of round 2. Good action there in round 2.
And this is the type of boxing that we need to bring boxing back.
What an appreciative crowd, too, here. The second round of the first fight, and these guys are getting an ovation like that.
3 deep breaths. 3.
So there's Jerome Martin getting some advice, and now there's Custio Clayton.
I want you to have a lot of fun this round, okay? Do all your stuff. I want you to work off the jab. Sometimes I want you to throw the right hand in. Just have a lot of fun, okay?
Told him to have a lot of fun. Usually when you go in the ring, have a lot of fun.
Beautifully.
That puts you back on your game. But if you go in too tight, sometimes you make mistakes. Custio right now, he's having a lot of fun.
Well, there's a nice left hook to end that exchange by Clayton. I've got to tell you, I'm very, very impressed by him.
Okay.
How old is he?
Don't forget to try
I think he's 11 years old right now.
You go to the body sometime, okay? Okay, let's go.
Well, you want to hope he doesn't grow up too fast.
I hope not. When I started off at 11 myself, I was like 107 pounds, so he's not that heavy, so more than likely he won't get to be my weight division anyway.
So the third and final round is underway. Custio Clayton in white, and he's squaring off against Jerome Martin. Martin from Colchester Amateur Boxing Club. Yep. Good left to the body and left hook to the head.
Yes, that was a great punch.
And Custio Clayton from the City of Lakes Amateur Boxing Club.
Oh.
Good, solid right hand. Right. And that punch hurt Jerome Martin. I thought the referee was going to step in for a standing 8 count, but he thinks he's all right.
Well, you know, Bill, he's very experienced, and he has a pretty good idea if a fighter is hurt or not, and I'm pretty sure he made the right decision that time, as you can see.
There's another good, solid right hand on the jaw.
But he gave him a standing 8 count this time, and that shows that Mr. Arsenal, he knows exactly what's going on.
So standing 8 count. Taken by Jerome Martin, and back again with that left hand is Custio Clayton. Left hand to the body.
Custio's having a lot of fun with it right now. He's faking and he's moving, he's bouncing. He's doing everything right now.
See, he has a beautiful double left hook. Up.
It was a very entertaining fight.
And that's the end of that fight, and a very, very valiant game. Jerome Martin was just outclassed by Custio Clayton.
Yes, he was, you know, but this is a wonderful learning experience for him, you know, just because he lost the Sear 1 or didn't do too well the Sear 1, you know, as long as he put his heart and did his best, that's all that counts.
Here you see on the replay, there's that big right hand.
That was an excellent right hand.
Two very, very good-looking young men with a lot of heart, each of them, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about these two in the future.
Yes, we will.
Custio doesn't even look like he's broken a sweat over there.
No, it don't.
But I'm sure his heart, as you see another right hand there on the replay, I'm sure both these young gentlemen's heart were racing a mile a minute there.
Yes, it was. You can tell by the way that they were breathing in the corner. Both guys are taking big, deep breaths and breathing in the ring, so that shows you that 1 minute, you know, it takes a lot out of you at the time.
So there's a good look at Custio Clayton.
He's just a small kid right now.
You can tell he's done an awful lot of work in the gym over at City of Lakes Boxing
Club.
In the
ring to present trophies to both fighters, Mr. R.H. Dick McLean, Chairman of the Nova Scotia Boxing Authority and Boxing Nova Scotia.
So Dick McLean, the Chairman of the Nova Scotia Boxing Authority and President of Boxing Nova Scotia, is in the ring now. He's going to make a trophy presentation to both these young fighters.
Well, you know, it's an honor in itself for these young guys to fight on a prestigious card like Custio tonight. And, you know, when I was amateur, when I fought on things like Custio, you know, it was a great event. Whether you win or lose, as long as you give it your all, that's the main thing.
Your winner of the opening round this evening, fighting out of the blue corner, Jerome Martin. Jerome Martin.
Well, they announced that Jerome Martin was the winner of the fight, but I know that they got that wrong. Custio Clayton is the winner of that fight. There you see Jerome Martin receiving his trophy. Custio already got it. And there you see the fighters with a nice little mutual sign of respect to each other. And I think that's what I really like about the game at this level.
Well, you know, one thing that boxing does teaches you self-confidence, and it teaches you sportsmanship. And that's one of the things you have to have if you're going to make it anywhere in the sport.
We've made a mistake.
And in any sport.
And we owe it to the young lads.
So they are going to correct that mistake.
Can you bring him back for just a sec?
They're going to re-announce the winner of that fight, Custio Clayton. And there's Custio just climbing back into the ring. So Custio Clayton, once again, the winner representing the City of Lakes Amateur Boxing Club. So that's a great way to kick off this evening, Kurt.
Yes, it is. You know, you had the first fight with small guys. You had a lot of action, and tonight is only going to get better.